Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday from the Toybox edition. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the power of the Primes, Prime Masters. Let's get into it! My friends, let's try something a little bit different than what I would normally do. And for this episode of From the Toy Box, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the entirety of the Prime Masters that I do have. So let's start by saying there are 4 more Prime Masters which I do not have, and they were either released with a Takara Tomy Transformer in Japan, or the 4 that I'm missing for sure were included in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Power of the Primes Throne of the Primes, which comes with 4 of the Prime Masters. It comes with a recolor of the Optimal Optimus from Power of the Primes, and the Spark something. Anyway, it came with like a scepter that 4 or 5 of the Prime Masters would fit into, and combining those powers. Now, in Power of the Primes, each one of these Prime Masters has a different power, and we'll get to that when I'll take a look at each one individually during this review. Or maybe not the power, but their titles. But they each have a different power, and when they're combined with a Transformer from Power of the Primes, they give that Transformer, that imbues them with their powers. Or maybe not power, but personalities maybe as well. So I guess let's get into it again and take a look at each one of these guys individually and see how it goes. Let's take a look at the only one of the Prime Masters I have that did not come on a card. This is Onyx Prime, and he is the Beast Prime. And this little figure comes with the Power of the Primes Titan Master Predaking, and does have a space in there to fit in. And this is the piece that he comes with instead of a decoy armor, or as us G1 aficionados might call him, a pretender shell. It comes with this Prime, well, I don't want to say Prime, it comes with this matrix holder, I guess is what you would call it, and he fits inside here once he's folded up, and we'll get to that. But you can see this has some nice molded details into it, and it's all molded in this color. And of course, these Prime Masters are the exact same as the Titan Masters, only instead of a face, they have these on them. And this one is, again, Onyx Prime. And you can see the symbol on this one looks a bit like a lion. You know, we've got a face in there, we've got mane around the sides here. So that's kind of what he looks like. And there's some nice detail on this piece. And there's some nice details on this guy too. They have very minimal paint apps on them. As you can see, this one just has this one paint app on the front side on the head. And I'm going to go over the articulation on this figure, and it's going to apply to the rest of what we're looking at today. So he does have a head, and it does rotate 360 degrees. The arms, you know, they move about like that, and then down to the sides. And he has a joint here at the, let's turn the lights on so we can see what's going on, at the hips and at the knees, but they're joined together. So, you know, it pretty much can do like that, which is how it transforms, and it can move like that. And that's pretty much it for this guy. Again, like I said, they're pretty basic. So you transform this guy into his spark mode, and you can see like this right here, that's where the head goes. And you snap him in there, and then this piece will go into the chest of Predaking. So that's a pretty neat little gimmick. Here we have Alpha Trion, and he is infinite knowledge, or contains infinite knowledge, and he comes with the landmine decoy armor or pretender shell. And also, this is a carded figure, so it does come with instructions, and you can see 8 and up, generations, transformers, power the primes, Alphatron, and there is his logo, which is the same as what's on the figure's back. And then you open it up, and it's got pretty clear instructions on what you can do with this guy. And then there's all kinds of stuff on the back, small fine legalese and all that stuff. So let's take a look at the Prime Master first. And again, you know, it's got nice little details. You can tell that it's a robot. It's got a little paint app here for the face, and that's pretty much it on the front. On the back, it's just got paint apps here on these little diamond shapes, and his articulation is exactly the same as Onyx Prime's, and he transforms exactly the same, and there he is transformed. Now let's take a look at Landmine. And there's not a lot going on here. It's got an Autobot Tampo. It's got a little bit of paint right here and here and here. And that's pretty much it. Now this guy can do 2 things. He transforms. And then you move that down. And he's a weapon. And the Prime Master, you can see he's got 2 little ports on his feet, and then there's 2 little pegs right here. So in spark mode, if I can get it lined up properly, and of course it doesn't want to. There it goes. Alright, so in spark mode it goes in there, which is kind of an unfortunate position to be in, I suppose. But you can see, so now it's a gun, and it's powered by a Prime Master Spark. So the other thing this guy can do is, you can see there's 2 ports right here and 2 posts on here. This can be removed, and then let's flip that back, and he's on, you know, a hinge right here. So then you take the Prime Master and unfold him, and he fits inside like that, and you close it up, and you can kind of see his face inside the visor there, because it's open space there. So you can see it also has a little post right here, and it pegs right into the hand. So now he's got a big old cannon. Alrighty, my friends, there we have it. There is Alpha Trion and Landmine. Next up, my friends, we have Micronus, who is described as Power Swap. And these descriptions of the characters I'm getting from the big card that comes with Predaking that has all of the primes on it. And so Micronus has Power Swap, and he comes with the Cloudburst Decoy Armor or Pretender Shell. And again, you know, the instructions tell you what to do with the guy. So I'm not going to go through all that again. And then here's the figure itself. And you can see this one is, you know, the molding here is a little bit different. The head, it's got face for the paint. It's got face for the paint. It's got paint for the face. And then it's got some paint here on his symbol. And of course he folds up like the others. Now on the Cloudburst armor, well, let's transform it into a gun. I forgot to do that. So that's what it looks like in weapon mode, and it actually clips in there. So this is a double barrel Gatling gun type weapon. And again, the Prime Master in spark mode goes right into the gun to power it. And just like before, the armor opens up. The Prime Master unfolds, and now he's in disguise. And the weapon also fits right into his hand. So there we have it, my friends. Micronus and the Cloudburst Pretender Shell. Here we have Vector Prime, who is a time traveler. And he comes with the Metal Hawk Pretender Shell, or armor, whatever you want to call it. And again, you know, it does come with instructions, and they tell you what to do with the guy. So let's take a look at him. He's got a nice silver paint app there for the face. And then here's his symbol on the back, and it's got some paint on it. Nice molded details around there too. So it's pretty cool looking. And again, he just folds up into spark mode. And here we have the Metal Hawk shell. And you know what? I forgot to go over the other two, the articulation of them. And at the shoulder, it rotates 360 degrees. That is the extent of the articulation on this shell. So now we've covered that. So to put him in weapon mode, again, you flip the gun, and the gun has a nice silver paint app on it. And I forgot to talk about, he's got some paint apps there. Nice tampo. Maybe this is a paint app, silver. So this is probably one of the more colorful ones. So now he is in weapon mode, and again, the Prime Master does fit into gun mode via the two pegs to power the weapon. And there he is. And again, that comes loose. Armor opens up. Prime Master goes right in there, and now he's armed. So there, my friends, we have Vector Prime and the Metal Hawk armor. Here's Liege Maximo with the Skullgrin armor. And again, instructions. There's a look at them. Let's take a look at the Prime Master. And he's got some nice paint there for the face. Or maybe it's not paint. Maybe that head is in two pieces. I'm not entirely sure how that's put together. And then he's got some paint apps here on his symbol. And he folds up into spark mode. Skullgrin armor. Very nice and very skullgrinny. Look at the skull there. And this nice skull here. And Decepticon Tampo right there in the middle of the chest. And then he's got a nice big silver paint app on this 3-road claw. And then you can see here where the Prime Master connects to it in spark mode. And then that flips out. And then we have a claw type weapon. Again, armor opens up. Transform the Prime Master. Pop him right in there. This piece becomes the Pretender Shell or Decoy Armor's weapon. And there you have it, my friends. Liege Maximo and the Skullgrin armor. Next up, we have Quintus Prime and the Bludgeon armor. And again, instructions, pictures. That's that. Here we have the Prime Master, and it doesn't even look like this one. Well, maybe he's got some paint on the face. Yeah, it looks like he does. And then kind of an intricate design here on his back. And let's see, Quintus Prime. Let me look at my notes real quick, and we'll tell you what Quintus Prime is. Liege Maximo was the Trickster, and Quintus Prime here is the Cedar of Life. And then he folds over like that into spark mode. And then I'll have to say, this is probably the most impressive of the Pretender Shells or the Decoy Armor, whatever you want to call it. It's got some paint app here for the skull. It's got a nice kind of a chromy finish to the Tampo for the Decepticon logo. Looks like he's got some paint here and here and here and even here, it looks like. Or maybe it's here right there for the legs. I don't know. And then possibly up here. And let's transform him. So flip that up, flip that down, and then of course the Prime Master plugs in, and he's the Cedar of Life, and that looks kind of... So I'm not going to speculate as to what this gun may produce as a projectile. So, but there it is in its weapon mode. I don't want to touch it. So open the armor up. Transform the Prime Master In the shell he goes, and then his gun. Goes in his hand. He can hold it like this and shoot it like a gun, but he also can hold it like this and wield it as a club. So that's a little bit different than the others. The weapon on it can be used in ways more than one, which would be two. So there we have it, my friends. Quintus Prime and the Bludgeon Pretender Shell. Here, my friends, we have Megatronus, who is the Dark Warrior. I do believe he's also known in some continuities as the Fallen. And he comes with the Bomb Burst Pretender Shell or Decoy Armor. However you want to refer to it. And again, instructions. And this is what you do with it. So let's take a look at the Prime Master. He's got some silver paint on the face there. And then on his back, he's got a paint app there for the symbol of him. I guess that's his symbol. It's the one he's wearing anyway. And then, of course, he folds up, transforming into his Spark mode. Now, here's the Bomb Burst armor. You can see it's got a Decepticon Tampo right there. It's got some paint apps for the ears, this for the chest, maybe these parts for the legs. And that's pretty much it. To transform him into weapon mode, flip the post forward, flip the claw pieces out, and then of course again the spark fits into the backside of the figure in its weapon mode to power this slashing action, I suppose. So, flip that back, pop that piece off, flip the armor open, transform the Prime Master, stick him in his Pretender Shell, close it back up, and put the weapon in his hand. And there you have it, my friends. Megatronus in the Bomb Burst Pretender Shell. Here we have Alchemist Prime, and he is the mystical scientist of the group. And he has the Sub-Marauder Pretender Shell, or Decoy Armor, whatever you want to call it. And again, he comes with an instruction booklet. And there's the inside. Let's take a look at the Prime Master. Looks like he might have a little paint app for the eyes, and that's it. Then on the back, he's got some paint there for his logo that looks, I don't know what that looks like. A spider's eye and mouth, I don't know. Just a guess there. And then, of course, he folds over like so, transforming into his Spark mode. Then here we have the Sub-Marauder armor, and it looks like it's got a little bit of paint apps on it. Here on the mouth, maybe for the eyes, perhaps this part and the head, and the knees maybe? I'm not 100% sure. But transforming him into weapon mode, you flip the peg forward, you flip the weapon part forward, and it's like a trident, I guess. And then, of course, just like all the other armors in weapon mode, the Prime Master Spark or the Prime Master in Spark mode fits in the back of the figure, and poke, poke, jab, jab. So flip that back up, remove the Prime Master, pull that off, flip the armor open, transform the Prime Master, place him in the armor, close it up, and put the weapon in his hand, and there you have it, my friends. Alchemist Prime in the Sub-Marauder armor or Pretender Shell. And here is our final entry on this in this review. And this is Solus Prime, who is a weapons forger. And he has the Octopunch Pretender Shell or Decoy armor. Whichever, however you want to describe it, of course. So again, it was a carded figure, so it does have instruction manual. And there are the handy dandy instructions for it. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Instructions for Transformers are kind of cool. And let's take a look at this guy. He's got a paint out there for the face, it looks like, and not a whole lot going on in there. It's like a visor and a mouth plate. And they're both the same color, it looks like. At least to me it looks that way. I'm colorblind, so please don't make fun of handicapped people. So then on the back there is the symbol. And he transforms into Spark mode. Let's take a look at Octopunch armor. Right there on the top, he's got a Decepticon logo tampoed right there. And let's see. Put him into weapon mode. Flip that up. And it's got some paint apps on it right there. And so does, like right there and here. I forgot to say that. And look at that skull there. So then flip that out. Now he is in weapon mode. Of course, the Prime Master in Spark mode plugs right in there. And I'm not sure what to say, what kind of weapon this might be, but there it is. And then to finish this up, pull the Prime Master out, flip that back, pull this off, open that up, transform this, place it in here, close that, and then put this into the armored figure's hand. And there, my friends, that is Solus Prime in the Octopunch armor. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have all of the Prime Masters that I have. And they're all inside their Pretender Shells or Decoy armor. And here I have with them comparisons, what I normally use, which is the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Leader Class Earthrise Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Transformers Power of the Primes Prime Masters, at least the ones that I do have, I have to say I'm missing 4. And they were all available with this year's, not this year's, but the year of Power of the Primes San Diego Comic-Con Throne of the Primes exclusive, which had the 4 Primes that I'm missing, which would be Nexus, who had the power of combination, Amalgamus, who was a shapeshifter, Prima Prime, who was a warrior of light, and the 13th Prime, who I think ended up being a little bitty Optimus Prime, which, you know, was just a Prime Master, but it was colored up like Optimus Prime. So I unfortunately missed those. That was the only way to get 3 out of 4 of those. I think Prima Prime came with a Japanese issue of something or other. I can't remember exactly, but it was a Japanese release. I don't think it was an American release. I could be mistaken about that, but that's the way I remember that. So 4 of them I'm missing. The only other one that was really hard to get, and I don't guess it was hard to get, but maybe folks didn't know that Onyx Prime came with the Titan class Predaking, but it did. So you had to get that and the SDCC exclusive in order to get all 13 of the Primes, which I think sucks. I think they should have released all 13 of the Primes as carded figures with Pretender armor, or Pretender shells, decoy armor, you know, whatever you want to call it. I think that would have been good. And, you know, I like, at least with the Autobot Pretender shells, I think this is a really good size for those, because they were supposed to be armored up humans, and it never made sense to me that they were supposed to be disguised as humans in spacesuits, but they were the size of Transformers. It didn't seem like much of a disguise to me. Now, with the Decepticons, it's a little bit different, because their Pretender shells are all monsters. So they could be big, and it's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. They're like kaiju. But in this size, it's okay too. But I think it makes more sense for the Autobot armors to be in this size. And then the others can be whatever size, because they're monsters. So I really enjoyed these guys. It was especially nice to see the Pretender armors, or the Pretender shells, get another run. And, you know, this is the only way that we've seen them in a modern line, at least mainline, is this way. Now we've seen, you know, we've gotten Bomb Burst as a core class, but, you know, there's no Pretender shell there. And again, Skullgrin and Metal Hawk, you know, those guys have come back around as well. But again, they're just full-fledged Transformers with some of the features. Oh, Bludgeon as well. You know, they're just regular Transformers with some of the features of the Pretender shell on them. And, you know, that's just not the same thing. So, I enjoyed this part of the line. And to me, it just, at least, especially for the Autobot ones, it really feels like it makes sense. Again, the others could be, you know, the Decepticons could be any size that you want them to be, because they're monsters. And so, again, like I said, I liked this part of the line. I didn't, you know, there was a lot of things in, you know, all 3 of those Earth Wars or Prime Wars lines that I enjoyed. And, you know, this is just a part of it, and I'm glad I got to share these with you guys, especially for those of you who may not have been collecting Transformers at the time that these came out. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.